Hey, what's up, you guys? Jeff Cohn here with another episode of the Team Building Podcast, where we interview top team leaders, broker owners, and thought leaders from across the country. I have 3 guests on the show today. Very excited for them to introduce themselves. They are the fastest growing real estate team in Tampa, Florida. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome the KKG team. Rob, you want to kick it off?
Well, everybody, Jeff, thanks so much for having us on. My name is Rob Shelley, and I'm President and CEO of the Kilene Kelly Group with Keller Williams here in suburban Tampa.
And we have Kylie and Kelly with us today. So, Kelly, you want to go first?
Yeah. Hey, guys. Kelly Hildreth with the Kilene Kelly Group. Jeff, I've been watching you since 2015. I'm so psyched to be on here.
Well, I'm glad to have you on
one
here.
of my goals.
It's a pleasure to have you guys.
Goals.
Thank you. You've earned it.
Awesome.
I'm Kilene Shelley. I'm the Kilene of the Kilene Kelly Group. And we're just excited to be part of your team and just excited to be on this broadcast and be able to talk a little bit about what we're doing here in Tampa.
Awesome. So I know you guys have a lot to share today. We've never had 3 guests at the same time. So when this ends in 20 minutes from now, no one's going to feel like they got any talking in, including myself, because literally we're each going to hopefully talk for about 3 to 5 minutes. But let's just start off. One of you can volunteer to take the audience members through what your roles are. So just kind of separate each of your roles.
Kelly?
Oh, you want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead. Ladies first.
All right, ladies first. Well, I am in charge of all of our agents at the moment. I like to say that I'm also in charge of our relationships. So I've given myself the title of the Director of Relations because I've really focused on our referral network. I've really focused on our agents, and I've really focused on our network here in the area, kind of building out those relationships.
Okay, cool.
Majority of my time is spent with our agents and helping them kind of get to that next level.
And how many agents do you have right now?
Currently, we're at 6.
All right. And looking to grow, taking applications?
Yes. Rob's goal is 10. So we are currently taking applications and interviewing daily.
All right. 10 a month, the next 12 months. So their goal is to be over 100 agents by the end of the year. That's a really good goal, you guys. Kelly?
Yes. I am the production manager, I guess you would say. My job is to constantly keep stuff on the board, whether it be coming soon, listings, or pendings. So Kilene right now is right there with me. She's doing all these other things and has a ton of stuff on the board. So she's absolutely killing it.
Yep.
But I chase listings. I would like to call myself the listing guy here. I'm constantly doing cold calls. I'm constantly looking for new business. I'm constantly out talking to people in different networking groups and watching the production for the team itself.
I'm excited, Kelly. Go ahead.
I was gonna say Kylene's training them up, and I'm making sure the stuff gets closed.
Okay, I love it. That sounds like a great team dichotomy. I'm really excited to learn more about this thing you called cold calling. I've never heard of it before. I actually thought listing agents just had to go to fun like happy hour events, and then people would ask if you would go list their house for them. But there's more to it than that, so we'll have to unpack that.
There's one other thing. Yeah,
there's one other step. Okay, Rob, if you don't mind sharing your role as CEO.
Well, unlike Kilene and Kelly, I am actually not a realtor, although I probably have the credentials other than the actual certificate that these folks have. I'm more operations. I'm behind the scenes. I'm that guy behind the curtain, trying to work on brand development and business growth, looking towards the future where we don't have to hustle as much as we are now.
Awesome. Building more of a passive business while helping other people build an amazing active business. Great. So let's talk a little bit about where you came from, where you are, and where you're going. And we'll now go in the reverse order. So Rob, if you want to kick us off with that. Where was the team? Where is the team? And where is the team going? And I kind of poked fun. We'll let the cat out of the bag. These guys are some of our first powered by platforms. They beta tested with us last year, and they've been coaching clients for quite some time. Also avid listeners to the podcast. So a true success story, and they earned it. They've worked really hard to get to where they are now. But I will poke fun when someone says, oh, our goal is to recruit 10 people. Of course, they know they can recruit way more than 10. So I'm going to call you guys out, and we're going to have a fun moment here where you thought you weren't going to have these daggers thrown at you. But I'm going to watch the way you answer some of these questions with growth mindset in mind. And we will have a true ideation when the goal is 10. Why only 10? You're in Tampa. How many agents are there? Like, you you have the ability to affect so many people's lives if you would invite more than just 10 this year. And that's why I challenged you to have 120. And hopefully after this podcast airs, you guys get thousands of calls of agents in your area wanting to come join your team.
Yes.
I don't know why they wouldn't want to, but yeah.
Exactly.
Well, throw all the daggers you like, Jeff. I do know where you live.
This is true.
Kylie and Kelly have been in the game for about 9.5 years now, and in their own rights, were very successful in their individual real estate. But at the end of the day, they were strength in the numbers and joining forces, and the two of them decided to become a partnership in that regard. I had a past life operations director position, and as we neared the COVID times, I came on board full time with our group here to lend a little bit of my expertise in operations, to do all the things behind the scenes, as I mentioned, accounting and taxes and development and things of that sort. So we started out just the three of us and an admin. We've grown our local team to currently 6 full-time agents. And the goal, yes, is only 10 here at this particular market center, but we do want to start to grow our footprint to include other major metropolitan areas throughout Florida, Orlando, Sarasota, Jacksonville, down to Miami. We've got our sights set on taking over the Sunshine State, and then beyond. We've actually started a non-for-profit that allows us to be national, and we have representation right now with 130 different agents from different brokerages across the country that assist us in the military aspect of what we bring to the philanthropy mindset that we have.
Yeah, that's awesome. And Rob, I know we've talked offline a lot about that. I think that's great. Fun announcement, which we've never talked about. We just got our 4 nonprofit entity approved for elite real estate systems. So our mission of our nonprofit is to partner with entrepreneurs to help them increase profit, build wealth, and create freedom, which is the goal of every and all entrepreneur. And so I think it's really fascinating what you guys have built there. So if you are an agent listening that want to know more, if you are an active or I think married to active duty or retired military and you have your real estate license and you want to be part of the network that they have built up, you can reach out to Rob. Rob, what's the best way for someone to reach out to you to find out about the opportunity?
Best way for us to get a hold of through our company is info@thekkg.com. You go onto our website and we have a page dedicated just to the military service. So whether you want to come onto the KKG here locally or state of Florida, or whether you want to explore options nationally, we have those opportunities.
Cool. All right, Kelly, you're up next. Where'd you come from? Where are you today? And where are you going?
So I have a background in sales. I've always been in sales. I used to run a promotional advertising company before I jumped into real estate. When I got into real estate, like Rob said, 9.5 years ago, I met Kilene at one of our agent partner meetings, and she was the little sister I didn't know I needed. And we kind of were magnetized together. We constantly were helping each other, working ideas together. We marvel at people that can do this business without a Kilene or without a Kelly to constantly like bounce ideas and run scenarios and practice, script practice, etc.
Yeah.
So Kai started, she and I started there. She would go on vacation with Rob and I would watch her business. We would sell stuff and vice versa. So we were always covering for each other. That's how we ended up finally starting the business. And the smartest thing we did was bring Rob on, because Kai and I are salespeople. We're not somebody that's going to put together a spreadsheet and follow every nickel and make sure our taxes are paid. So, and it's just a small, tiny piece of what Rob does. But for him to give us the freedom to do what we really do is really helping the team to grow.
Awesome. Thank you. Very well said. Kilene,
Thank you.
where did you
Yes.
come from? Where are you now? And where are you
did I
going?
come from? Well, when I met Rob, I was wanting to be an interior designer and an event planner.
Mm-hmm.
But Rob had other plans, so he moved me all around with restaurants for a while. So during that period of time, I was a mom and a waitress on the weekends. So when I started real estate, it was really kind of a way for me to potentially move out of waitressing and get into something different. And I think I was the only one in my Ignite class that did not put down $100,000 my first year. I wanted to make $40,000 my first year. which was hilarious because I blew past that. Mainly because I surrounded myself with people like Kelly who just helped push me and get me there. So when we decided to team up, it was kind of one of those scenes where I'm like, I'm dumb, you're dumb, we need someone smarter than us. And so that's where Rob came into the picture. And it was scary because, Rob and I are husband and wife, and to have a 3-person partnership where you have 2 people that are married, it was scary for Kelly. It was also scary for us because we were like, okay, we're giving up our steady Eddie income and going into our own business. So it has been a wild ride since 2019, but we're excited about where we are today and where we're going. These guys help me think bigger. I'm always the cautious one. I'm the cheapest realtor you'll ever meet. So they're constantly like, giving me new things and letting me marinate on it. And then I get to come back and be like, okay, we can spend money. And then the both of them are already like, we already did. It's one of those things. So,
Uh-oh. So you were the one telling them not to join Powered by ERS.
actually, funny story. They had been talking about it for quite a while. It was kind of a topic of conversation all the time. And to be completely honest with you, I listened to totally different podcasts. So they would both be like in the office talking about your podcast, and I'd be like, just like whatever, and like going on about my day. And then we kind of hit a point where we're like, we have to do something or we have to break up. Like we were at that kind of teeter totter point.
Like
It
you and
was,
Rob would break up?
yeah. Yeah. Kelly would move in and Rob would move out. No.
Oh my gosh.
We were just like,
wow,
this
that's
business-
going to create a fight
I
afterwards.
know.
Yeah,
I
that's
know.
gonna be great.
No, it was at a point where we're like, we could do what we're doing now by ourselves
Yeah.
and not have all the hassle of it. We were kind of burning through people. We couldn't really get any traction. And so last year when everybody was like, pull back your money, save your money, don't spend any money, we don't know what this market's going to do, I looked at these 2 and I said, let's go spend some money. And
Let's
if it works, great.
go.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So we tripled down.
This is a perfect segue because this is where everyone's at. We're first quarter 2024 when this episode will release, and a lot of people are looking back going, what could I have done differently? And of course we all have answers, but we didn't know where everything was going. We do know interest rates will continue to come down this year in 2024, so the market will pick back up. Agents are looking for leadership. And it's really discouraging to me. You had mentioned you listen to other podcasts. There's so many options. You search real estate and there's a million options. You search team building. There's not very many team building podcasts. Ours usually comes up first. And the dichotomy is that most coaching companies and most real estate brokerages teach agents to work in an active role of selling houses because it serves them. It serves the coaching company. It serves the brokerage. They don't want people to learn that you can actually generate passive income in the real estate business, which is the whole point of real estate. When people say, oh, well, Donald Trump or name the name has all this real estate, they didn't do it so that they could go show houses and, go on appointments and cold call. They did it because they wanted to be in an environment that allowed them to generate income, increase their wealth, continually increase their wealth. And there's a myriad of other reasons. And so what we discovered in our podcast was that we gave out all of the best information to help people go and build things on their own. But most people are so busy in the active, whatever the active role is, of all of the different roles you guys mentioned, which is normal. We're all busy in our active role, that they didn't have enough space to be able to go out and build the next thing, the lead gen funnel, the marketing department, the mortgage company, the title company, the insurance company, et cetera. And so for 3 or 4 years, we told the world, hey, you got to get ahead of this. The market will shift. It's not a question. It always shifts. Where are you going to be at when it shifts, and what passive income verticals will you have created? I'd love to hear you guys speak to some of this. But the final point I want to make is that we wanted to build a platform that would allow us to power ERS clients. And so we created Powered by ERS, which ultimately gives teams the ability to increase profit, build their wealth, and create the freedom they've always dreamed of by partnering with ERS. So instead of us just being a coach that collects money for time, we get to actually partner with the companies that choose to do coaching with us, and we can talk a little bit more about that. So you guys can unpack that however you want. I don't want to ask for compliments, but would love for you to kind of talk about your journey a little bit.
Yeah, I'll kind of start where it was with us is Kelly and I are still actively selling. We're kind of the fuel that pushes this machine forward, where Rob's steering the machine. So for us to be able to take a step back in any aspect of that is super scary, because it either puts more pressure on the other person or it doesn't give us enough money to do what we need to do. So for us, it was the figuring out the training aspect of it as well as growing the team. So we can be here for everyday questions, but it was that training and being in the trenches with them that was it was causing one of us to not be able to do what we had to do every day. So for our team to have trainings on Mondays and Wednesdays, for our teams to have one-on-ones on Thursdays, it has just really relieved a lot of that. And it gives us something to follow up on, and we're able to really run an effective team versus chasing them around and trying to hold them to all these standards. It's
Yep.
pretty simple. Like these are our expectations.
I love it. So you used our training platform as leverage for your agents. Every Monday we do topical training. Every Wednesday we do dialogue training. And a lot of the teams that work with Elite Real Estate Systems, we have almost 100 team platforms that are part of our team group coaching and mastermind. And what they'll do is they'll have their Monday company meeting 1 hour before our trainings. And our trainings are usually 11:15 Central Standard Time. So they'll have their office meeting the 1 hour before that, and then encourage everyone to stick around, and they'll play the training on a big screen, or everyone goes off into their own room or wherever and does the training virtually, because our trainings are interactive, which are also unique compared to a lot of the other trainings that are out there. Cool.
Yeah, it's very cool on a Wednesday when we log in to watch what our team's up to see our team on screen role playing. Because the role playing, Kai and I used to do it with them all the time, and when we're doing that, we're not producing.
Yep.
So for you guys to be able to take that off our plate has been awesome.
Well, and something that you guys don't know is coming, all of our trainings are getting moved over to Go High Level. And in Go High Level, there's a feature that will allow you to log in, and you can see if your agents are actually consuming the content that they told you they consumed. And you can see if they consumed it and how long they consumed it for. You can actually embed like a guide to that specific training and additional video, additional content. It's going to be pretty awesome. So we'll have something like that roll out here in the next month. If you're a listener and you want more information about Elite Real Estate Systems powered by ERS, our group coaching platform, our one-on-one agent team leader platform, please go out to growwithers.com. You'll have all the information there, and you can schedule a call at that point with our Director of Sales, Logan Boyce. Rob, any other comments on that topic?
Yeah, I'll piggyback on what Kilene was saying. I think that people are the number one asset that any company has. So as she was mentioning, our investment in their training, their accountability, and their development without necessarily taking away the rainmaker's time, which is so valuable, that in itself was the value add for us. But on top of that, although Kilene and Kelly have got an enormous amount of experience individually, it was nice to be able to have the coaching for us as well, to be able to get on the phone or on a Zoom call with yourself, with Andy Cuny, or others to, give us some insight or different perspective on not having to reinvent the wheel. We were either hearing new things, which we could, jump on top of and implement ourselves, or we were getting validation to the things that we were already doing correctly. Either way, we are winning. So that to me was the biggest value add of the ERS platform.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I think sometimes people discount how important it is to have validation that what you are doing is right, or the direction you're going is a positive direction. I will say for us personally, back in 2011, 2012, over 10 years ago, oh my gosh, when we launched our flagship team, Omaha's Elite, we went out all across the country. We went to probably over 50 to 100 brick and mortar locations. We'd go to one location, and then we'd rent a car and literally drive 2 or 3 hours, and then go 2 or 3 hours further. And we were visiting all the top boomtown teams. And everyone said, yeah, come visit. 2-3 hours. We'd go check out the team. We'd ask questions. And after about a year and a half to 2 years of that exercise consistently over time, we weren't learning anything new, but we were validating a lot of the things we were doing. And our entire coaching platform and our team success of going from 70 to 700 sides in 6 years, fastest growing team ever, number one at Berkshire in the world, launching a brokerage and going to 2,000 sales within 2 years of launching our brokerage back in 2020. All of that is because of everything that we learned. And now as Elite Real Estate Systems, we've coupled all of the best practices that we implement in Omaha, Nebraska. And now we make all of that content available to our clients. Most of what we teach isn't something we created. A lot of it is just us simply going to so many locations and kind of creating these patterns over time of what works and what doesn't. And the tools that work here work everywhere. The tools that work in Florida work other places. It's about working that, using that tool and being consistent over a long period of time to be able to get the results that you want. So you guys have hit the ground running. Your team's growing. I believe you've been number one the last several months in your office, which is a huge success after I think the person that had been in that number one spot had been in that spot for several years. So I know that they've built a successful team as well, but you guys were able to produce beyond that, and you are still growing. So like we mentioned, if you are an agent listing that want to be part of the VA network, or you're wanting to be part of the real estate group across all of Florida, feel free to reach out to these guys. Rob, what did you say?
Info at thekkg.com.
thekkg.com. Awesome. So let's give a couple final thoughts for anybody aspiring to build a team or already having a team. Obviously, you guys are powered by ERS clients, and with that, you get the group coaching, you get agent training, you get success managers holding your agents accountable to lead gen best practices, you get leads, and you have the ability to have ownership eventually in mortgage in Florida, in title in Florida. Insurance, we're still not sure of yet in Florida, with obviously all the challenges that insurance poses being in Florida, but lots of different ways to partner. Share a little bit about what that might look like and what your opportunities have been up to this point, maybe provided to you by your broker or other thought leaders you've worked with.
Kelly, you want to take that one?
No. I don't want to take that one.
I mean, and the reason I ask it this way, you guys, is if you're a team leader listening to this, how many times has your broker come to you and said, hey, you know what? You're sending 20 or 30 deals a year to the mortgage company that we're working with. We want to give you ownership. I've never had it happen. Hey, Jeff, your team did 730 sales last year at Berkshire. I would like to make you an owner. No.
Nope.
Never did anything like that happen. I got to a point in life, and I invite everyone else to get to this point today. If they listen to this, no one's going to come and knocking. You have to build it for yourself. And if you're not going to build it because you don't have the time or resources or know-how, there's other people willing. I'm willing. My hand is up. Elite Real Estate Systems will partner with you today and help you build it in your own backyard. Our intention is to scale nationally with every vertical and grow into over 1,000 locations in the next 5 years. So pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, that's what was so exciting for us when actually we learned about what you guys are doing. We were just like we had a V8. We were like, of course, do that. So we're psyched to be on this journey with you guys.
Awesome. Last thing, everyone looks for special tips and tricks and silver bullets. If you could name one thing that you feel sets you guys apart as an organization and that you think that our listeners could take advantage of today, one strategy, one way you spend your time every day, a habit, a dialogue that you're using, what would be one thing that you can think of right now? Of course, we all have many we could share, but if there's one thing that stood out, what would the one thing be that you'd want to leave with our audience today?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and go first. I would say what makes our team really unique and special is that we are quick to implement. Kelly and I are constantly preaching, if you're going to spend time and go to a training or listen to a podcast or read a book and you're not going to implement anything from it, you've just wasted your time. So we always try to pull one really good nugget from anything that we do, including our weekly calls with you guys. We pull a nugget and we implement it right away. And I think that's been part of our success and will continue to help us along the way.
And that's not as easy done as it is to say it. So to be able to actually have the space and time and resources to implement, that's hard. You have to be intentional about creating space for that. And so when people say, I just don't have enough time, everyone has more time. Just think about what to eliminate. Eliminate something that's lower income producing or someone else could be doing. You could leverage it or get rid of it so that you can have the space to implement new systems or processes to help make your business more successful. That's a really good one. What else?
For me, I would say 100 calls a day. If you don't make 100 calls a day outbound, then I don't know that you're really in real estate. I try to do it every single day. I don't do it every day, but I do. When I do pick up the phone, I'm timely. I don't stop until I hit 100. And there's listings on the board because of it.
Yeah.
There are listings out there. You just have to call and talk to people.
And I don't disagree at all. People will say, oh, then I'm just a glorified telemarketer. And I'll say, are you a real estate agent that's actively selling? You are a glorified telemarketer. 80% of your time should be prospecting. So it's either picking up a phone or it is going to that party I joked about or going to the CrossFit gym or going to church or doing it all and always be talking about real estate. 100 conversations a day. We allow text messages to count as long as it's not a big blast. Email wouldn't count. But the interesting thing to that comment, Kelly, is we've been tracking call attempts for over 10 years, millions of call attempts. And we know in our market, and this is pretty similar to most, it takes a certain amount of calls to get somebody to answer and a certain amount of answers to get an appointment, a certain amount of appointments to get a sale. And it's broken down for us that every 150 call attempts or conversations with decision makers, we sell one house. So 5 calls is a contact, 10 contacts is an appointment, 3 appointments is a sale. And so if you're on a dialer like Mojo Dialer or Vulcan 7 has an integrated dialer, a handful of companies now are offering that integrated dialing solution, you can usually make about 100 calls an hour. So if your goal is 100 calls and a couple of you are like, oh my gosh, I couldn't do that. If you're sleeping 6.5 hours a night, you're awake 126 hours. It's like you can't spend less than 1/100th of your time on a phone. And the reason people don't is they don't have the confidence. They don't know that they offer something special. They don't know why someone would want their real estate agent to be calling them. And if you don't know an answer to that, I'd recommend you shut this podcast off right now and spend the rest of the day thinking about what value you could offer someone if you made a call to them. So I think that's a great one. Good reminder.
Where else can you potentially make a phone call and make $20,000? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yep.
Get on the phones.
I agree. It's a good one. Rob, last but not least. Rob Shea.
Last but not least, my word of advice is that you must be very intentional. It's not swimming if you're just putting your toe in the water. You literally have to commit to the process, be consistent with it, and be very intentional about your time, your intentions, and just see it through. Too many people think that this is a cool thing to try out. They do it with part-time jobs. They do it on the side. They watch too much HGTV and think that, those $1 million listings just fall in their lap. This is a grind. And those that I see that are successful get up every day and go to work. So get up every day and go to work.
Yep.
Love it. Stay consistent. Last comment I'll make on Kilene's statement about when she was in class. She said, I want to make 40,000. Everyone else, 100. The number's still 100. When I was in school back in 2006, which I actually got my real estate classes taken at university, which is pretty unique for an agent, but I got my minor in real estate. And so I was able to take my classes there. The number was 100,000. Before I graduated high school, which was in the year 2000, when everyone said, how much do you want to make out of high school? The number was 100,000. It's 24 years later. 100,000 today is like 30,000 then. So Kilene, your 40,000 is like 15,000 of before. But what I like about it, what I'm going to say to this is you were truthful to yourself. You didn't pick a number that everyone else wanted to hear. You picked a real number. And so I would say that would be my point of advice to everyone listening to this today as we finish out 2024. If you made these big audacious goals, awesome. We should have big goals. But after Q1, look at what results you've created and how close you are to your goal and be willing to lower the goal. For this year or for the second quarter or the third quarter, like be willing to say, okay, maybe making a net $1 million this year was unrealistic, but I should hit $500,000 this year. Next year, 750, and then the next year I'll hit my $1 million. And then just do the systems and processes like Rob said, like the consistency and the process and endure the suck and just do the work and wake up every day and be excited to go out there and pound the doors and do the thing that you do that you say you're so great at and become better at it. And listen to podcasts like this, mastermind with agents like these and teams like these that are willing to take their business to the next level. There's a lot of people out there that want to do better, but they're not making the changes. So it's like, how bad do you really want it? If you're just listening to all these voices on a podcast and you go back to doing the exact same things, you might be living off these little highs every day, but not actually doing anything. After this episode, go do something. Change one thing every day. That'll be 365 changes by the end of the year.
Yep.
All right. Yep. Well, you guys, thank you. This was a great podcast. This was fun. It's hard with this many people. I haven't really interviewed a group like this before. So I think you guys definitely each got 3 or 4 minutes. I think I probably spoke too long, but in the end, I feel like it was a huge success. So I appreciate you guys coming on. Again, we talked about how to get a hold of you guys. If anyone wants to reach out, interested in partnering in I said VA and I don't know if it's just VA. It's anyone military, right? Rob, you want to correct that?
It's either the PCS world. Military folks know that a PCS is a permanent change of station when they go from one assigned area to another, or their transition. They've served their time in the military and it's time to get into their next phase of life as a civilian, and they're looking for that forever home. So we help in that process either way.
So you guys can reach out if you want to be part of that network. I think you have to be past military, right, Rob, to be an agent that's part of the network. Or close to the military families. You have to understand. Yeah, my brother was in the military. My dad.
Yeah. We will stretch it to that first level.
You need to know how to talk the language. You need to know where the military base is. You need to know how it all works culturally.
Yes,
Yep.
correct.
Awesome. So if you want to be part of that network, it's I think you guys do a great job with it, and it's nonprofit. So I think that's an awesome cause that you guys have worked towards. If you want more information about Powered By, I know that came up today and we've talked about this a lot in the past. Again, just go out to growwithers.com. You can schedule a call today. We'll show you how to partner with us. We'll also talk to you about our different coaching programs that we make available to you. And until next time, we'll put a bow on this episode. Really appreciate the KKG team coming out and supporting the Team Building Podcast today. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Jeff.
Jeff.
Thank you, Powered By.